Good evening. Welcome to another live stream. It has been a long time since we've done one, but we have a reason to go live now, as you can see. Update 2.0 to demo 401 of Titanic Honor and Glory. Let's see what these options are. So some of this I've already worked on. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. So what they've done, you can explore each level, and I'm really digging this. So you can see we've got first class. This time you board on B deck as opposed to D deck in the reception area. First class promenade. The bass is supposed to be like the Turkish bass. Second class, third class, officers, crew areas forward, never before seen in Demo 401. Roam the rarely explored crew areas beneath the forecastle deck, including crew quarters, the crew gallery, cargo hold, and even the crow's nest. What? That's amazing. We get to see the crow's nest. I wonder if we can go. I wonder if they mean you can go up in it, because I know you can't actually go on the forecastle deck. Let's see. Post office and baggage. Titanic was a Royal Mail steamer for a reason. Get lost in her massive post office, mail baggage, and baggage hold, one of the first areas to flood following the iceberg collision. Boiler rooms. Watch your step through the deepest bowels of Titanic. Boiler rooms number 5, number 6, their coal bunkers, and more. I think we'll start off in first class because that's mostly the area they've already covered in previous demos, so we should probably be able to get through first class pretty quickly. And here we go. What's up, Matt? It's been a long time since we've streamed, but we're finally back. Finally got a reason to stream. And we're just getting underway here. Ticket to sea, Mr. Murdoch. Let's stretch our legs. All right. So here we are. Looks like this is a private promenade area on B deck. Now this is a hatch door right here. Yeah, there is always a delay on my stream, Matt. I am not sure why, but stream looks good. Doesn't look like we're having any lag issues. Just Just kind of checking out the water, seeing how everything looks. All right, let's get into this. Also, they take us right to the grand staircase on B deck. So, since we're here, we're starting out on B deck. Let's just go straight down the hallways and check out B deck. What do we have here? I hear a clock. Ah, and that would be why. There's a clock right here. And what cabin do we have here? B51. Wow. I mean, the Olympic class ships were meant to rival the best hotels in Europe, and you can see they do that quite well. Look at this bedroom area. And you can see the private promenade from the bedroom windows. The lighting job they've done is so much better. Gigantic improvement over the previous demo. Let's go take a walk on the promenade. Let's see if we can read this stuff. No, they're blank. I like this feature here. You can zoom in to things like so, or you can zoom all the way out. And if you push your mouse wheel in, it resets. I really dig that. Let's go walk on this promenade deck. This kind of looks like a lot like the promenade deck that Rose and Cal and her mom had in the movie. So I'm going to assume that James Cameron did some very detailed work in trying to figure out the accuracy of the promenade deck that he recreated. That's 53, 55. So it looks like the cabins you can explore, the doors are open. I'm sort of getting a Conkling vibe in this cabin for those of you who remember Titanic Adventure Out of Time. I know the developers were big fans of that game, which, I mean, what Titanic nerd wasn't a fan of that game or isn't a fan of that game? It's still a great game. You know, they did a pretty sweet job considering what we knew about the ship at the time. So these rooms interconnect. Because see, when we walk out of here, that looks like B63. Ladies, must be a ladies' room somewhere nearby. Must be right there. No, that's a cabin entrance. Anyway. They also include a map of what all is explorable in the ship, and 50% of the ship is now explorable. We've got a B81. Let's go into B81. And I'm looking at the map of the B deck right now, and looks like those are all of the explorable cabins on B deck. It's really great that they provided this map for you. So you can make sure you're exploring as much of the ship as possible and you don't miss anything. And another thing they did was they oh wow, this is nice. They fixed it so where each class was a level. So if you go to second class, you're loading into a new level. And every time you change classes, it prompts you to load into the next class. That way you always know where you're at on the ship. I've never seen this so nice before. And here's the aft grand staircase. See, it almost looks exactly like the A deck grand staircase, the forward one, except, of course, right here you have Honor and Glory up there on the A deck one, on forward. So we've got some new lighting in the Cafe Parisien, and it looks absolutely stunning. Of course, the Cafe Parisien was such a big hit on the Titanic that after the sinking, they went ahead and one of the modifications they made on the Olympic was to give the Olympic a Cafe Parisien. It just looks so nice. I wonder if you can go out this door here. You can, to the second class promenade, but let's go check out the a la carte first. I could spend a day just in this room right here. What do we have on here? Oh, the menu. The menu for April 12th, so this would have been Friday, April 12th, 2 days before the sinking. Looks like a lot of Americanized food, so to speak. Yeah, please wait to be seated. Wow, look at this lighting. Yeah, they actually had fans in some of the corners. Keep fresh air circulating throughout the ship. Look at that. I mean, how nice is that? What we may do, I want to do complete decks at a time. That way I make sure I hit everything. Okay, you cannot go through these doors. Like I said, we can go through roughly 50% of the ship. I love the natural lighting that they've done. It looks incredible. Look at that. Of course, when the final game comes out, assuming it does, there will be a nighttime mode. And I can't wait to see that. All right, so we should be able to go. Is there another door? No, there's not a door here. I like the run mode. It really helps. That way when you backtrack, you can skip a lot of stuff. Yeah, so there are no decks that are explorable on this side of B deck. But we can access B-deck promenade. I think my computer's having a little trouble keeping up, which I don't understand why. However, it is. So, Matt, how are you spending your evening besides listening to me ooh and ah over the Titanic? Let's see, we need to get aft. Okay, so this is as far forward as we can go on B deck. Oh, we can see the lifts now. So this is what the lifts actually look like. It'd be cool if when the final version of the game comes out, the lifts would be functional. I think one of these heaters, you can see the heaters actually going. I think one of these heaters is visible and in somewhat decent shape on the seafloor, although I'm not sure where that heater would have come from, like what part of the ship. All right, let's go back. Let's exit through the back of the Cafe Parisien, and we can get on the B deck promenade. Not the private promenade, but the promenade. And here we go. We can go outside now. And fear not, we will, of course, walk the grand staircase, the forward and aft sections. So that's back to the cafe. But let's go. This is the second class entrance right here. And this would be the second class smoking room. It's actually really nice in here. I think this is the first time I've seen this area. I mean, as we know, there are so few photos of the Titanic. So I don't know if I've ever seen areas of this this part of the ship. Chances are, and even if I did, it was more than likely the Olympic. You know, there's so many pictures of the Olympic, and people think it's the Titanic. And yes, we can finally see outside of the ship. Is that beautiful or what? They did a good job on the water as well. And do we want to go on the well deck? No, not yet. One of the cowl ventilators. Wonder if this is one of the ones that was stationary or if they could turn this one. A fun fact, a lot of these cowl ventilators, they could be swiveled around to take fresh air inside of the ship, but not all of them could be swiveled. We could go down to the well deck, but the well deck is technically part of C deck. We might just do it. Here's the, that's part of the mast right here. This is a second class entrance right here. And that would be the main mast right there. The mast in the rear was actually considered the main mast. Man, this just looks amazing. All right, so here's what I'm going to do in order to stick with my theme of staying on B deck. I am just going to cross the well deck over and not really explore it and get on the poop deck because the poop deck is considered part of B deck. Oh, we get to descend the stairs. This is going to be a great reference for when I finally find or finally buy a huge model of the ship, one that I truly want to build. If you've seen my video of my model where I built the 1/700 scale of the Titanic, I didn't do any of the rigging because the ship is really, that particular model of the ship is really too small for that. Whereas if I can find one, at least like the 1 to 350 scale, I think would be large enough to do the appropriate rigging on it. And this will be a great reference for that. So here we are on the B deck, or on the poop deck. And I believe this might be the first time we can walk the poop deck. And it's absolutely amazing. Yep, so here's more cows, the cow ventilators. I'm not seeing any with cranks on it. So I'm wondering if these were all stationary. I am not 100% certain which ones were movable and which ones were not. That would be great if we could climb the ladder, but I think climbing and jumping are not possible in this demo. Maybe in the final version of the game, they'll do it. Matt, what are you doing tonight besides watching me go ooh and ah about the Titanic? This is where we first met. Let's go up on the docking bridge. Okay, well, maybe I'm not a passenger. Maybe I'm an officer. I'm not sure what this little guy is for. Yeah, that was a pretty active day, huh? You had a photo shoot, you ate some crawfish. And now you get to walk the decks of the Titanic with me. Cool. I think that's everything to see on B deck. Let me reference my map real quick just to make sure. There's a section forward that they're calling boiler rooms 5 and 6 Fiddlies. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm going to see if we can get there before we leave B deck. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's what those things were too. Of course, I do not know that 100% certain. See, I'm thinking that you have to go to the crew quarters or the crew decks in order to access this place. The place that they're calling the Fiddlies. Not sure what a fiddly is. See, now this is C deck. I don't want to come to C deck just yet. Now let's go back through the Cafe Parisien. I know in the movie A Night to Remember, there's a scene on the Californian where one of the officers up on the bridge, well, just outside of the bridge, he picked up this cap and blew into it, and it would make like a whistling sound in the captain's quarters. And he wakes up, and they're communicating by voice through this thing. I wonder if that is similar to what we just saw there on the docking bridge. All right, I think we did miss one cabin here on B deck. On B58, which would be on the port side, should be open to us. And that would be all the way forward. That's a pretty cool effect. Let's see. But where is B58? See, shouldn't it be like right here? That's 54, 52. Oh, it went right past it, didn't even notice it. Let's see. Yep, B58. Ah, this was the room on one of the loading screens I saw. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, so that is all of B deck. Let's go ahead and go up to A deck. Now, the Titanic Museum and Pigeon Forge, they recreate this section of the grand staircase. You come down, you actually walk in through like a side door like this, through a different part of the museum, and you go up the stairs right on this side, and then you go up and to the right, and that's where they got more exhibits there. And when you're done with all the rest of those exhibits, you come back through this side, and you come down these steps right here to exit out into the gift shop, which is like over here somewhere. So I'm going to pull up my map again and see what all we can check out on A deck. Of course, A deck is not quite as large as B deck because I don't think none of the cabins are accessible on A deck. So, having said that, let's check out the forward areas first. And yeah, all the lifts are down there on B deck. Now, this ends up leading to the officers' quarters. We're going to check that out in a minute. I did not notice. Let's see. Are you talking about the clock up here, Honor and Glory, or are you talking about the clock over here? It looks like they're the same. Well, obviously they should be the same time. See, 8:40 in the morning. I don't think there's anything significant about that. And you can walk around up in this area too, in the museum. You can walk completely around it. Of course, I don't know if the one in the museum is to scale, but it seemed smaller than I was expecting it to be. So yes, let's continue going forward. And there would have been a lot more cabins on B deck and C deck than there were on A deck. So I'm not expecting to see too much on A deck here. We do have an open cabin. Oh, it's a bunk bed. Oh, now that's a cool view. You can see the forecastle from here. I think this might have been a cabin I would have wanted. Look at that. Oh, and the water is moving, so it's not just a plain static image. All right, let me check my map again. Yeah, so two cabins are open up here. That was A4 we were just in, and now we're gonna go on the other side and see A3. Oh yes, the bathrooms. Nope, you cannot see your reflection. It'd be really cool if they would done a reflection where you could see Carlson, which is the character you play from Adventure Out of Time. Yeah, fun fact. Oh, look, it had urinals. Fun fact about bathrooms on the Titanic. There were no. Well, I don't know if there's zero, but for the most part, definitely. Even in first class, the toiletries were communal. I don't know if 100% of the cabins were communal, but certainly a majority of them were. And I'm almost certain that it was 100% because I believe Britannic was the first Olympian to have private bathrooms, like in certain cabins, and even on Britannic, they did not all have them. Okay, so let's head aft and check out some of the first class amenities because a lot of the indoor amenities in first class were on A deck. Uh, see the lounge, the reading and writing room. Let's see. Yep, that goes out to the promenade. Of course, we are definitely gonna walk the A deck promenade. I can't wait to go out there. Okay, the door opens for us. This is the lounge corridor. Oh, good grief. Look at this room. Jeez. And this would be the reading and writing room. Put me a bed in here, and this could be my cabin. Now, I wonder if this fireplace was real, because as I always understood it, the only legit fireplace on the ship was in the lounge, because it was right below the fourth funnel, and the smoke from that fireplace would go out the fourth funnel. Of course, we see this room in Adventure Out of Time. Just obviously doesn't look nowhere near the quality that this game does, but that game's almost 30 years old. I could sit in this room all day too. Jesus, this is unreal. The detail they have put into this is mind-blowing. I'm so amazed by this. Takes a Every now and then I see it takes a brief second for my computer to catch up, but it really hasn't been that bad. Okay, so we're heading aft. We should be coming up on the aft grand staircase. Can you go in the pantry? No, you can't. And yep, there's the aft grand staircase. Part of that wrought iron up there is still visible on the seafloor, which is amazing considering this part of the ship was obliterated when it was going down. And the smoking room. And where we meet good old Buick Riviera in Adventure Out of Time, right here. Noticing all the wine glasses and the matches on the tables. It's amazing they had all this fire and stuff going on a ship whose superstructure was quite a bit made out of wood. I think you meet Andrew Conkling in the smoke room as well. Yep, and see, here's the fireplace. And the smoke from this fireplace goes up and out through the fourth funnel. I wonder if we can climb the fourth funnel. That would be amazing. Let's see. Now, this is going to be the Veranda Cafe. And the other side will be the Palm Court. Yes, the pantry is not accessible. I'm just noticing that on the map. There are two rooms that are available right near the aft grand staircase. So after we check out the Palm Court, we're going to go back and check those out. And yes, and this is where Sasha and Zeidel have a heated conversation in Adventure Out of Time. And for those of you who love the movie, the Cameron movie, I believe this is where Rose stood when Jack sees her for the first time down there on the poop deck. I believe this is the area where one of the very all too few photos that were taken on the Titanic was taken right here of a man and his boy was spinning a little top or something on the deck right here. I want to say it was Father Brown that took that photo. I'm almost positive it was. I know it was a father. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but I'm fairly certain it's Father Brown. And this is a fan room. I guess this is to do with the engines. Yeah, there is a whole exhibit in the museum to said father. Because talk about one lucky individual. He was on the ship. I forget if he was on the ship from Southampton or Cherbourg, but he was on the ship, and he took the vast majority of the photos that exist of on board the ship are photos that he took. And the only photo of Captain Smith on the Titanic was also taken by him. It was over there on the starboard side on the bridge wing. Captain Smith was looking over onto the ground at something, and that photo of him was captured then. All right, so before we walk the promenade deck, let's go to the Palm Court here. And we'll check out those two cabins that we skipped. All right, and this side is the Palm Court. And it really doesn't look that different from the Veranda Cafe. I wonder if it was intended to be all the same thing. Yeah, beautiful, though. What do we have here? Some sort of pantry. I like the little windows. I wonder if they could serve drinks through these. And back into the smoke room. Yep, you can order drinks right here, or they can hand them out. I'm not sure exactly what they chose to do. But let's go see those cabins that we missed. Or did I miss some? No. Eh, they should be aft, almost even with the grand staircase. Ah, here we go. Didn't see this little corridor. Only thing I wish they would have left is they had the little pop-up bubbles where you could see who had what room. This kind of makes me think this is Thomas Andrews' room because of the, the diagrams of the ship right here. Okay. And let's skip across over here. And this would be A37. Yeah, I think I like this room a little better. So I think that's everything to see on A deck. So without further ado, we are going to go walk the promenade. And while it loads, I'm going to pull up the map of the boat deck because that's where we're going to go next. And in the boat deck, we're going to see some of the officers' areas once we get up there. So here we are, aft of the A-deck promenade, heading forward. What does the sign say? Interesting. And one of the expansion joints right here. I want to say this was either right on or right near where the ship broke. Now, one of the things you can do at the museum, and that obviously goes up to boat deck. We're not going up to boat deck yet. But one of the things you could do at the museum, they have in this little room 3 small little spots of varying degrees of what it would have been like on the ship throughout the sinking as it listed. The first one was like a couple of degrees. It's easy to walk on. The second one, of course, is a little more difficult. I'd have to go back to my pictures and see exactly what the degrees were on the first 2. I forget. But here's another expansion joint. But the third one was a 45-degree list, and that was about 10 minutes before the final plunge and the breakup. Yeah. Well, the breakup happened, and I think 10 minutes later, she was fully underwater. And I had to climb on the rails itself to be able to climb up this part of the climb that part of the ship at that list degree. Yeah, there's no way you could just walk up it. It was that steep. This is one thing they did that I don't like here in the demo. They did not include the stairs that go up to the boat deck right here. There are stairs on each side right here that go up to the boat deck and stairs that go down to B deck. I don't get why they didn't include that. Because, I mean, boat deck is fully accessible. B deck is not, but all you have to do is like put some boxes or something at the bottom of the stairs to block people off. That's the only thing I don't like about this. And there's the crow's nest. I believe these were that would have been a cabin we were in right here. Now, if memory serves, now on Olympics A deck promenade did not have these enclosed windows. Titanic and Britannic had them. And if memory serves, during the sinking, these windows were closed. The lifeboats were supposed to be lowered down to A deck, and people were supposed to basically climb through these windows and get on them. But these windows were closed, and there wasn't. You see, there's no crank or handle or anything to lower each one. There was like one crank somewhere that opened them all, and nobody could find it. So they had to let people get on the lifeboats from the boat deck. At least that was one thing, a story I heard. I cannot 100% confirm that, but I believe the source that I heard it from to be credible. So that's the only reason why I share it. Yeah, so there wasn't a whole lot to do on ships in 1912, unlike those massive, gigantic cruise ships we have today, with more amenities than you could ever do on your entire voyage. So promenading was one of the main things you could do on a ship back then. That's why all these ships had promenade decks. We're just going to speed up a little bit because now we've been to this part. Okay, so let's take those stairs we saw over here about midway through, and we're going to take those stairs up to the boat deck. And at last, here we are on the boat deck. This would be the first class area. That must have been, oh, that's the engineer's promenade. The officer's promenade is further forward. And all the way behind that gate right here that we see, that would have been the second class promenade on the boat deck. And look at all this space between the lifeboats. They could have easily put more lifeboats on this ship without an issue. They could have filled them up all the way to these gates at the very least. And I like how they got the one that's swung out forward over there. What's this door? You can't go in this door. That was back the way we came. There's the compass platform. More cows. What does it say? Dining saloon something. I can't make out exactly everything it says. But I'll bet this is one of the ones that could be turned. And I was just wondering, can we get to the compass platform? And this even has a nice view. They should have did more things like this without the compass on it. The platform itself. That way, passengers could walk up and see this view from the boat deck. I believe over here is where you meet Mr. Max Seidelman, buyer for Haymakers and Macy's in Adventure Out of Time. And as we see, there's not as much to do on the boat deck either. Each section is divided off into class, of course. This would be the officers' promenade. We have to switch between classes and officers and engineers here in order to see the entire boat deck. And here's the infamous collapsible that when this part of the deck was being touched by the water and getting submerged, this collapsible tipped over and fell onto the boat deck on top of Wireless Officer Harold Bride. And this boat floated off of the deck upside down with him under it. And thankfully, he was able to swim out from under it and get on it. He was one of the people who had to stand on that thing for so long after the ship went down in order to keep out of the water. He had a severe frostbite on his feet. Yeah, I believe there's a picture of him being carried either onto or off of the Carpathia because he really couldn't walk because his feet were that frostbitten. And see, here it is again where this would be the stairwell right here. They've got this tarp over it. You would go down right here to the A deck promenade. And here's the bridge. Let's go to the bridge wing, the portside bridge wing first. What a view. There's the Marconi wires. And of course, the ship was actually steered from this wheel. Quartermaster Robert Hitchens was the one steering the ship when the collision happened. Of course, he could not see really anything, even on a normal day. The quartermaster steering the ship could not see from here out in front of him. The orders as to how the ship would be steered would come from the senior officer who was calling out those orders. And I believe he would have someone standing right here to his left, making sure that he was carrying out the orders that were given, either by the captain or in the case or the night of the collision. He had been getting those orders from First Officer William Murdoch. Yeah, so down here's the officers' quarters. What do we have here? A little advertisement for what's to come. Now, of course, Captain Smith's quarters would have been in this section of the ship, but I believe his quarters were on the starboard side, if memory serves. While other officers would have had their cabins around here too. And of course, we have to go to the Marconi room. And this would have been where Jack Phillips and Harold Bride slept. And for those who may not be familiar with this story, believe the day before the collision, the Marconi system actually broke or stopped functioning. And at the time, it was said by the Marconi company, if should the machinery stop working, do not attempt to fix the machinery yourself. Wait till you get on shore and let a certified Marconi technician come in and repair the machinery. Could you imagine what would have happened if Harold Bride and Jack Phillips chose to do that? No one would have ever known what happened to the Titanic. She would have just disappeared without a trace. And who knows, even to this day, if she would have been found. And I highly doubt the people in the lifeboats would have been picked up by the Carpathia or anyone else. So you talk about two heroes of the disaster. Jack Phillips and Harold Bride are two of the guys that are at the top of the list. That's first class. We've been on, well, I don't know. Have we been there? We're still on boat deck. Okay, so we can't go through that door. Let's go take a peek and see. This probably brings us back to the grand staircase. Now, I know the kennels were on boat deck as well, right behind the fourth funnel. Those are not accessible, unfortunately. That would have been cool to see. Okay, yeah, so we're... Oh, what's this? Good thing we came back here. I'm not sure exactly what this room is. Let me check on my map. This is the elevator gear room, so or the lifts as they were called on the Titanic. Yes, because that's true, because all this machinery was housed on the boat deck. Titanics and I believe Olympics too, they're the lifts only went as high as A deck, whereas on Britannic the lifts actually went up to the boat deck. So that's pretty cool. Here we are at the grand staircase. And I believe the gymnasium is open. So let's go check out the gymnasium. And yes, the gymnasium is open. It'd be cool if you could punch on the punching bag. You can just, maybe we can bob it with our head. Give you some new meaning to headbanging here. A little boat rowing thing. Some weird looking exercise machines. And I believe that is the only first class accommodation you can see. Yeah, so that would have been everything. We're gonna head aft just to be sure. Got some really nice loading screens too. Yeah, so we've seen this. We've seen the officers' promenade. We're back here in first class, the first class section of the boat deck. Yeah, so we've walked all of this already. I'm going to go to the engineers' promenade and then to the second class promenade. And I don't think, no, we can't go in these rooms. Well, what was that? Oh, to Scotland Road. That's why this is the engineers' quarters, because they could go all the way down to Scotland Road from here. We are not going to Scotland Road just yet. Now back here, this section would be the second class promenade deck. That's it. Let's see. I believe that this would have been the dome over the aft grand staircase. Yes, that's what this is. I'm not sure what this machinery does here. But yeah, the second class entrance would have been over here, all the way in the back. I like how the lifeboats, they all had SS Titanic. Some people are not sure if SS Titanic was correct or if RMS Titanic was correct. They were both correct, actually. See, I believe that, let's see, the kennels would have been, I believe the kennels would have been one of these doors. But let's go ahead and go into the second class entrance after we make the round here. I'm actually going to stop for a second, pull up my map of C deck, because that's where we're going to go next. And we'll start aft and work our way forward. Yep, second class entrance here. You travel this part of the ship a lot in Adventure Out of Time. You meet the Reverend Leland Trask, who was always asking for a donation. Oh no, I'm sorry. His name wasn't Trask. Trask was the fortune teller or whatever he was. I forget the Reverend's name. So here we are. I believe this would be B deck. Yes. We're going to descend down to C deck since we've already seen this. And we're going to go check out the well deck. Now, I could be wrong, but according to the map, this would have been the third class smoke room. Seems a little, I don't know, that sounds, strange to me. Okay, there's one lift. Okay, this would have been the third class entrance here. So yeah, that's wild to me. I just don't remember third class having accommodations like this nice. But according to their map, we are on C deck. This is the third class smoke room and general room. But it can't be because we didn't change. We didn't switch classes. Like, we got to still be in second class. Let's see. Where does this go? To aft well deck. See, okay, maybe it was because this is third class right here. The well deck and the poop deck were for third class. Let's just run through this part. Now, once we get down to D deck, there is a lot less of the ship to see. Let's go check out the well deck. No, I was right. I was looking at the map wrong. That was the second class library, actually, that we were just in. The third class smoke room is back here, aft of the well deck. That's what was confusing me. I was looking at the map wrong. So, yep, this is the well deck. Yeah, so this door effectively blocks off second and third class. So that was the second class library. Now, also back here, all the way to the back, and we won't be able to access that area, is the steering gear room. Yeah, now this looks more like third class. And this would be the third class smoke room. And even still, this doesn't look that bad. Obviously, it's not going to be as nice as first and second class, but it still doesn't look that bad. Someone was here. All right, so let's go into the other room here, and that would be the general room. I'm not sure what you would do in the general room. May have to ask someone who knows better than me what the general room would have been used for. Not a bad looking little room. Okay, so this is This would be the steering gear room back here that we cannot access. Okay, so but let's head back forward because that's the we're checking out C deck. I don't think there's going to be as much of C deck to check out as there was A deck and B deck. And the reason for that is, of course, in prior demos, they already had a lot of first class complete. And those decks were mostly dedicated to first class. All right, so we're staying on C deck here if we can. There's got to be a way to stay forward on C deck. Passengers are not allowed beyond this point to first class accommodations to hospital. Oh, we got to check that out. Okay. This looks more like a cabin than a hospital. This is the doctor. This is the doctor's cabin, I see. Maybe like the head ship surgeon. Kind of like Leonard H. McCoy on the Enterprise. Okay. What is down here? The assistant doctor. His quarters ain't quite as nice as the head doctor. Restaurant manager. Yeah, his stuff ain't quite as nice either. The doctor's got it going on. Chief steward. Wonder where's the master at arms room. To second class enclosed promenade. I believe that's where we just came from. The only difference is this would be on the port side. Yeah, so this would be heading aft. Yes, that's the second class entrance. The lovely C deck. So I don't think there's too much to see on C deck. And the one thing that there is to see Yeah, there's nothing here. Gotta go to the aft grand staircase and we can check out C-142. To linen drying room. They could go up these spiral stairs here. What's in here? Nothing. Oh, these are some serious steps. This is going all the way up to the boat deck. Yep, this went all the way up to the boat deck. But we're going back down because we've seen that already. Yeah, so linen on the Titanic, they did not have like a washroom, so to speak. So all of the so-called soiled linen would be stored in a room, and it would have to be washed when they got back on shore. But I don't think this is the soiled linen room. But I don't know, they got the clean linen and the soiled linen right by each other. That looks like soiled linen to me. Okay. So we're back at the aft grand staircase. And we've got the barber shop here, which I believe this was accessible in one of the previous demos. And maids and valets saloon. And this would be a pantry. See, there should be a cabin accessible aft of the barber shop, and here it is, C-142. I know for a fact that C-173 is accessible. Of course, if you've played Adventure Out of Time, you're familiar with that cabin. This is back into the pantry. And back in the C hallway, there's C-75. Here we go. C-73. And what do we have right here? We have Carlson's trunk. Little great nod to Adventure Out of Time right here. I feel like I should summon Smethles right now. I guess that's the button to summon Smethles. You see, this makes me wonder, did Adventure Out of Time get this room correct in their game? Or is Honor and Glory just paying homage to Adventure Out of Time by making the room look kind of like this. Now, in Adventure of Time, the room did look a slight bit different. The paneling was like a really, really dark brown and not a white. Oh yeah, C-Deck's got these interesting portholes where they open up like this in the middle and it could channel wind into the cabin. Because of course, in Titanic's day, well, Titanic's day was before the invention of the air condition. Oh, they've got the encryptor, Carlson's notes, the phonograph. And let's head forward. There's a linen locker somewhere around here. It might be down this hall. Or is it this open room here? C105. We passed it up. Should be right there that we could get in that room. Or no, I have to go down to this corridor. It says this should be open. Let's see, let's go back to 173. Oh, I see. The linen locker. Okay, now let's go check out those cabins that are forward. It's 105. Here's a corridor. Then there should be another corridor. We should have two open cabins on the left. 113 and 120. Now, these are kind of nice. And this would be C120. Cabin C70 is open on the port side. Oh, this one's nice. All right, gonna move my map more forward. It looks like this is the last cabin that is open on the port side, so let's go back to the starboard side. And we should have two open cabins here. Here we go. Here's 105, where we came a few minutes ago. It kind of looks like one of the ones we just went through, as does this one. C97, the same thing, just in reverse. And C55. Oh, wow. Oh, look at this. So maybe I was wrong about the Britannic being the first ship, the first of the Olympians to have its own private toilet and bathroom and a suite. WSL. I can't think whose initials that would be. Oh, White Star Line, duh. I think, I wonder if this was like, no, it doesn't look like the Strauss room. Because there is a replica of the Strauss room in the museum. I don't remember it looking quite like this, but this looks like one of the rooms that Rose and Cal had in the movie. I can imagine the hours upon hours upon hours it took to make all this woodwork. And the inquiry office and the purser's office. The door is open. Yeah, all these had locks. That's where they stored passengers' items. Okay, let me pull up my map again. So there are two more things we can see on the C deck. These are all just open corridors here. There is a room, C8, that's on the port side. And there's a switchboard room, and that would be probably around this corner. This is it, switchboard room. And so now we're going to go check out C8. And there it is. Not quite as good of a view. You can't see the ocean from here. You're just looking at the well deck. But then again, I guess you got this porthole right here. Now we should be able to get to some of the crew areas because they are technically on C deck that are up in the forecastle. Unless we got to go down to Scotland Road to get to those. Which we probably do. But before we go to Scotland Road, let me look at the D-deck map real quick and see how much of D-deck is there. I think we'll check out the crew quarters later. So let's go aft because there's not much on the aft part of D-deck so far on the ship. It's actually pretty barren, to be honest. Let's just take the grand staircase and go down to the D-deck reception. And is there a cufflink over here somewhere? Seem to remember there being a cufflink. Well, since we're here, let's just go and see what is forward. So here in the last demo is where the boarding area is. This would be on shore, and you got the gangplank coming up right here. This is where they actually boarded in the movie. They went in through D deck. And for those of you that are fans of the movie, this is where the big dinner scene happens. The whole making it count speech. It's amazing that we can actually finally walk around in this whole area now. And also, we see this, the dining area again later in the movie, when Cal is chasing them down the grand staircase, shooting at them. This area is being flooded, and they're running aft here. And this is where he shoots at them for the last time. So let's head aft. If we can. No, we cannot. Let's see if we can see the menu. And we can. This is the menu the day of the sinking. Salmon mayonnaise. That sounds disgusting. All right, let me pull up my map. And we're going to head aft. Well, we kind of can't head aft. It's like I'm looking at the map and they're showing like even the corridors might be blocked off. So we might have to go up to C deck in order to go aft. And if anyone's joining the stream for the first time, I'm going deck by deck. I've been on the boat deck, A, B, and C deck. We're exploring D deck right now. But we're going to have to go take the aft grand staircase to get down to the rest of D deck that is accessible. Nope, because the aft grand staircase does not go down to D deck. So how do we get down there? Oh, we might have to take the second class stairs. Yep, I think that's what we got to do. And I'm looking at the map also, and it's the padded room is on D deck. So for folks who would have been considered mentally ill would have been placed in this room. All right, so here we are. We're down on D deck. And what room this would be, let me pull up the map. It looks like this would have been the third class dining salon. No. This would have been a second class dining salon. Yes, because there's the second class entrance right there. So this is second class dining saloon. This is pretty nice. Love the giant pineapples on the table. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Okay. So they're still on D deck. And this would go down, I believe, into third class. Yeah, so all this is blocked off. This part of the ship is not accessible. I think it might have come down too far. I think this might be F deck. Okay, so we don't want to see this yet. So let's go back up. We've seen almost everything already that there is to see on D deck. So D deck, they've got a lot of room or a lot of work to do on D deck. Now the hospital should be beyond this door, but we cannot get to it from here. I wonder if we can get to it from here. I believe this is the padded room. No, this isn't the padded room. Because the padded room is on D deck. We're on E deck. No, we're on C deck. No, we're on E deck. Now that's kind of confusing. This says C deck. This says E deck. But it is E deck because we just came down from D deck. So here we are on D deck. Okay, so C deck. Let's keep going till we can get A deck, boat deck. Say what? Let's do this. See, we're getting into areas of the ship that I have never seen and I'm not familiar with. So let's go back down these stairs. We're going to go down the grand staircase. I think we're going to check out the most forward areas of C and D deck, and we're going to probably call it a stream right there. So we're approaching 2 hours into the stream. And if I cut it off there, we'll have more time to explore the rest of the ship without me having to try and rush through it. And I can figure out how to get to the hospital because I'm not understanding how to get there. All right, so let's see. Let's go down to C deck. Actually, you know what? Let's go to E deck and take Scotland Road. Because I mean, we've seen Scotland Road before in previous demos, so I don't know what else they could have done to make that new. And so we're gonna intentionally not look at anything specific because we're gonna check out this in another stream. So let's go forward. This should be D deck again. Let's see if we can get the crew quarters from here. To crew companionway. Okay, so here we go. First class promenade. This is a crew area. We are definitely in the forwardmost part of the ship. Man, I just caught a big lag spike or something there. Let's see. I'm curious. Billy, what's up? Okay, so, aha, I see. Let's get back down there. Crew quarters. That's, I want to see. See, that's where we came from originally. Aha, the ladder for the crow's nest. Wow, look at this. What a view. Man, this would be a great screenshot if you could move this cable out the way. And here's the bell where Frederick Fleet rang the bell, and that famous statement, iceberg right ahead. That's incredible. Yeah, we're taking that screenshot. That might make a great thumbnail for next week's stream. All right, let's go back down. That was amazing. Yeah, that goes back to the A deck promenade. Let's see what is down here. This way to D deck. So this is C deck. No, we're on C deck. See, the forward part of the ship, this area, I'm not incredibly familiar with, so it is I'm sorry to say it is a little confusing to me. Okay. See, if I'm looking at the map right, we should be able to go in these rooms, but I cannot be 100% certain that I am looking at it right. Oh, I love this. Look at that. So I think this might be the gear room. See, they've got two right next to each other. One is wind class and one is gear room. That might be mail down there. Actually, I think this is what they're calling the stores room. Can we go? I was about to say, I hope we can go back up that ladder. The cargo hold must be much lower down in the ship, like where they put the cars and all that stuff. Anyway, let's keep going. So we've been here. Maybe we could just fall down those holes and see where that takes us, and we'll probably wrap it up there. Down these ladders. I don't think we can go down this one. No, we cannot. Okay, back up. These are fireman staircases. So this is D deck. And you keep going down. This is third class stuff here. Crew quarters right here. They didn't have a whole lot of room. Oh, wow. Titanic's massive anchor chains. Yeah, they did not give these crewmen much room. Okay, folks, I think this might be a good place to wrap up the stream for tonight. We've explored the boat deck, the A deck, B deck, C deck, and D deck. And wow, what they've done here is mind-blowing. I can't believe the detail that they've put into this. It's simply amazing. There's no other way to put it. Let's go ahead and finish where we started. In first class. Yep, right there on A deck. To think we were just up there in the crow's nest, that's mind-blowing to me. And the view was amazing. So yep, that's going to wrap up this stream. We've been going for about 2 hours now, and there's still so much more of the ship to see, and I don't want to have to rush through it. So we're going to come back and do another stream next week where we're going to explore the rest of the ship that we haven't seen. So I appreciate anyone and everyone who stopped by to check out the stream and the channel. If you like Titanic content, you like ship content in general, you know, I am the channel for you because I am fascinated by ships in general. Always have been. And I've got lots of, I have a dedicated playlist on my channel to ship content. It's called Titanic and Other Ships. And you can see the various content I have about ships. So thanks again, everyone, for watching. Thanks again for stopping by. I appreciate any support you can provide. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back and watch replays of other streams I've done if you like. We'll be back next Friday night to check out the rest of the ship. So thanks again, and in the meantime, you know the drill. Drive safely.